Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Jake, here with my brilliant data-obsessed partner in marketing strategy, Madison. Madison, let me start with a visual that has been bouncing around my head all week. Picture a marketing department in 1995. They have a massive budget, they build a single blockbuster television commercial, they buy millions in network airtime, and then they just sit back, cross their arms, and repeat that exact same message for 9 months straight.
The golden age of campaign thinking. The era when shouting the loudest with the most confidence was a viable business plan. But Jake, as an agency veteran who spent years in those trenches, I have to tell you that linear model is not just dead. It's been actively pulverized by the feed. Today we're unpacking a masterclass in strategic survival, looking at a premium neuroadaptive beverage brand called Now's.
Now's! Pronounced exactly like the common sense you need to run a business. They are basically redefining the entire playbook because they realize you can't just run a flashy campaign or even a linear customer journey map anymore. We are in the era of the learning loop, where the feed is the store, and every single scroll, tap, and micro interaction is a feedback mechanism teaching the brand what to do next.
And that distinction between campaign thinking, journey thinking, and learning loop thinking is where everything begins. In journey thinking, you're still mapping touch points like a neat little stepping stone path. Search, website, email, purchase. But with the learning loop, the discovery, validation, and transaction all happen simultaneously inside a closed platform. It's collapsed. And if your strategy is built on operational excellence, just being cheap, fast, and everywhere, you will get absolutely eaten alive by the giants.
Eaten alive by the Red Bulls and Celsiuses of the world. Which is exactly why Now's doesn't play that game. They aren't trying to out-logistics Monster Energy. If you look at Treacy and Wirsama's value disciplines, Now's anchors its entire strategic spine on customer intimacy. They are selling a premium nectarian brain fuel for people who don't want a jittery caffeine crash. They compete on deep, hyper-personalized understanding of the customer's daily cognitive routine.
Exactly. And to defend that premium positioning against those massive competitive giants, we have to look at Porter's 5 forces. In the functional beverage space, competitive rivalry is high, and the threat of substitutes is absolute sky high. Coffee, Adderall, energy shots, tea. If Now's tries to win on price or shelf space, they lose. But by focusing on a customer intimacy posture, they shift the game from broad distribution to targeted, motive-based niches. If you look at the Ansoff growth matrix, they aren't diversifying into random categories yet. They are executing a strict market penetration strategy first, building immense trust with high-performing professionals and creators who face cognitive fatigue.
And that trust has to survive 2 brutal tests in 2026. The first is the classic scroll test. Does your hook stop a thumb in under 1.5 seconds? But the second test, the one that is quietly changing the entire internet, is the AI discovery test. People aren't just typing keywords into search boxes anymore. They are opening ChatGPT, Perplexity, or Gemini and asking, what is the best clean cognitive drink for founders dealing with decision fatigue?
Oh, the AI citation game. This is what we call Answer Engine Optimization, or AEO, and Generative Engine Optimization, GEO. If Now's content is just a collection of vague wellness slogans, the LLMs will ignore it. The AI needs structured data, clear semantic connections, and what I call quotable distinctiveness. The AI has to find your content structured cleanly enough to trust and cite as an authority. If you aren't optimized for GEO, your brand is functionally invisible to the next generation of search.
Speaking of being invisible, let's talk about the metrics that actually prove you're alive. Most brands are obsessed with vanity metrics. They brag about getting 500,000 views on a reel, but they have no idea if anyone actually bought a single can of Now's. How do we build a metrics dashboard that actually drives executive decisions?
You build a 3-layer metrics architecture, and you anchor the entire company to a single North Star metric, the 90-day active ritual customer. Let me repeat that, 90 days. Not a one-time purchaser, not a quick click. We want to measure the behavioral proof that Now's has successfully integrated into someone's daily work or study routine.
90 days. That is a massive shift from just looking at monthly active users or transaction counts. It forces the team to look at the post-purchase experience. Because let's be honest, there is this incredibly fragile period right after a customer buys. We call it the post-purchase belief window. And for Nows, it's a tight 7 to 30-day window. Unlike a sweet soda, cognitive benefits take time to recognize. If a customer tries one can, doesn't immediately feel like Bradley Cooper in Limitless, and we don't guide them, they default right back to their old double-shot espresso.
Exactly, they drift away. That is why Nows designed a structured 7-day focus ritual onboarding sequence delivered via email and SMS. Day 1 is a confirmation and a reframing, setting expectations that this is a cumulative neuroadaptive benefit. Days 2 through 4 explain the science behind the L-theanine and lion's mane synergy. Day 5 invites them into the community. By closing that experience gap immediately, you protect the North Star metric. But to fund this, you need to know which channels are actually driving the value, which brings us to the ultimate marketing battleground: attribution.
The attribution wars. It is absolute warfare in most marketing meetings. Last-click attribution is the lazy marketer's default, and it is a systematic lie. It gives all the credit to the retargeting ad or the promo email that happened 5 minutes before the purchase, completely ignoring the creator who spent 20 minutes explaining the cognitive science on TikTok 3 weeks ago.
It is a complete tragedy. If you optimize purely for last click, you end up overfunding bottom funnel coupons and completely starving the top funnel content that actually builds the demand. That's why we defend a position-based, U-shaped attribution model, specifically a 40-20-40 split. 40% of the credit goes to the first touch that broke the skepticism, 40% goes to the last touch that closed the conversion, and the remaining 20% is distributed across the nurturing middle touches like educational FAQs or community challenges. It's the only way to make balanced budget decisions.
Okay, so we have the strategic spine and the metrics architecture. Now, how do we actually move the audience? This is where we dive into the legendary 5E content relationship model. And Madison, I want to go deep here. No high-level summaries. Let's unpack all 5 E's, starting with eye-catching. Because in 2026, you either break the pattern or you're invisible.
Let's do it. For eye-catching, you have 2 strategic options. You either break the pattern or you brilliantly confirm it. To break patterns, we use specific tactical frameworks. First, there's do the opposite, saying what your category refuses to say. For Nows, that means opening a post with most productivity advice is just hustle culture propaganda designed to burn you out. Second, we have the irony advantage, holding 2 contradictory ideas to create cognitive friction. Like showing a gravestone that reads social media 2005 to 2026 on a social media feed itself.
Oh, that Gary V gravestone image. It forces the brain to do a double take. It's beautiful. And then you have specificity as anomaly. Instead of saying avoid these career mistakes, you write 37% of managers say this one 7-word phrase will quietly end your career. The brain is literally wired to flag that hyper-precision as an anomaly.
Yes. And the 4th pattern breaker is the cliffhanger open loop. This relies directly on the Zeigarnik effect, the behavioral psychology principle that the human brain intensely remembers uncompleted tasks or unresolved information far better than completed ones. A creator starts a video with, "I was ready to shut down my entire DDC brand until we discovered this one metric on day 90. The loop is open and the brain demands closure. Now on the other side, you have pattern confirmation. This is about deep, instant recognition. We use naming what people already feel, like displaying a simulated phone screen with 42 open browser tabs and the text, "Your brain is currently operating at 4% capacity." It feels like a mirror.
That 42 tabs visual is literally my life every Tuesday afternoon. It hurts because it's true. And you couple that with direct address, speaking to you instead of consumers, and the listicle to signal instant digestibility. Now let's move to the second E, episodic. Why is episodic content so critical for rewiring the habit?
Because single isolated posts are a treadmill of exhaustion. Episodic content turns discovery into anticipation. You build recurring formats, like Mistake Monday or Friday Teardown, or serialized learning journeys. When the audience knows there's a part 2, their relationship with the brand shifts from passive consumption to an active appointment. It rewires the habit of checking the feed into a habit of checking your series.
Which feeds directly into the third E, evergreen. This is where we stop chasing viral trends and start building compounding search equity.
And the beauty of evergreen is what I call the maintenance paradox. Marketers think they need to constantly publish new content, but the data shows that a single, high-quality, historical evergreen asset, when maintained and updated annually with fresh statistics, will consistently outperform a dozen shallow, newly published trend posts. You treat your content as a capital asset to be maintained, not a disposable campaign.
I love that. Treat content like real estate. Now, the fourth E is expandable. This is the ultimate efficiency hack for small teams. How does one massive, high-investment idea travel along 5 parallel tracks?
It's all about leverage. One anchor concept, say a deep dive podcast on cognitive burnout, gets mapped across 5 distinct tracks. First, share worthiness, slicing it into highly relatable, bite-sized reels. Second, search optimization, turning the transcript into long-form, crawlable text. Third, curated intelligence, distilling the research into an industry trends newsletter. Fourth, persuasive framing, drafting a conversion-oriented landing page around the core problem. And fifth, go-to resources, converting the advice into a physical, downloadable asset, like a 5-minute focus reset cheat sheet or an HOA budget assessment checklist.
An HOA budget checklist on a fridge. It gets printed out and consulted every single budget cycle. It lives in their physical environment. Now let's nail the fifth E, emotional. We aren't talking about cheap sentimentality here. There is hard commercial data behind this.
There is massive data. A landmark study of over 1,400 advertising campaigns over 3 decades showed that campaigns built primarily on emotional content outperformed purely rational ones by nearly 2-to-1 in pure profit impact, 31% versus 16%. Emotion is a commercial lever, and high-performing emotional content clusters into 4 manifested emotions. Fortitude, which is active distress resolved through triumph. Excitement, which is pure hedonic energy. Liberation, which is low distress, relief, and calm. And tenderness, which is passive distress eliciting empathy and care.
And to build those exact moods, you have 5 tactical devices. Humor for reach. Social experiments like Dove's Real Beauty sketches, which feel like unscripted proof. Amazement, showcasing extraordinary human potential. Reflective vignettes, which stitch together relatable, quiet life moments. And theatrical performances, which deliver cinematic spectacle.
Yes, but to make any of this work, you have to map these concepts to the actual psychographic motives of your audience. And each of these personas responds to completely different emotional gravity, which we map using the 4-direction pain point map. This map divides customer struggles into 4 distinct quadrants: frustration, fear, want, and aspiration. Let's look at how this applies to a bespoke custom tailor. In the frustration quadrant, a metro male is feeling the immediate pain of perfect looks for admiration. Their current suits just don't fit the vibe. In the fear quadrant, a father of the bride is terrified of looking unpolished on his daughter's special day. In the want quadrant, a Savile Row persona wants to display prominent sophistication in a high-stakes meeting. And in the aspiration quadrant, a Trump's apprentice is imagining an elevated self-image, posturing for leadership with swagger.
It is an absolute psychological grid. Now let's step into Module 7, because once you understand the motives, you have to build trust. And trust transfer works completely differently in B2C versus B2B. In B2C, we often borrow trust from creators, but on B2B LinkedIn, trust is built through professional authority. We see 4 distinct thought leadership archetypes on LinkedIn: the analyst who interprets market shifts, the mentor who simplifies complex skills, the edutainer who makes business insights memorable through humor and analogy, and the motivator who drives professional action.
And the key to scaling B2B authority is treating LinkedIn groups as trust rooms rather than broadcast channels. They serve three critical jobs: regional exposure, building professional credentials through peer endorsements, and opening alliance opportunities with complementary partners. This creates the LinkedIn thought leadership flywheel. Useful thinking leads to professional interaction, which generates credibility signals, which opens relationship opportunities, which ultimately lands concrete business opportunities.
But if we are hiring external creators to drive this, how do we make sure we aren't just renting fake influence? We need a rigorous auditing process.
We use the 4-test creator evaluation framework. First, audience composition. Are their followers actually your target buyers, or are they just passive observers? Second, content brand fit. Does their visual style and tone align with your positioning, or are they relying on exaggerated hype? Third, motive match. Why does their audience follow them? Is it for expert advice or just mindless entertainment? And fourth, authenticity verification. This is critical in the age of AI. We must analyze engagement artifacts to detect synthetic trust. Are the comments real, detailed back-and-forth conversations, or are they bot-like emoji clouds with suspicious timing spikes?
Bot-like emoji clouds are the ultimate red flag. If a creator has 1 million followers but their comment section is just a sea of fire emojis and nice post comments, that trust is completely synthetic. Now, once you find the right creator, you have to tell a story that sticks. We use the 5-beat eudaimonic brand storytelling system. Walk us through those 5 beats. Tension, identification, transformation, meaning, and invitation.
It's a beautiful narrative arc. First, you establish the tension, a raw, real-world struggle the audience instantly recognizes. Second, identification, introducing a believable, relatable character who carries that struggle. Third, transformation, showing a shift from distress to clarity where the character acts or learns. Fourth, meaning, connecting that resolution to a larger universal value, showing why it matters beyond just product utility. And fifth, the invitation, inviting the audience to reflect, share their own story, or take the next step. This system taps directly into Schwartz's universal values framework, clustering narratives into relational themes like benevolence and tradition, or self-actualizing themes like self-direction and achievement.
And that storytelling is what allows you to scale the community trust ladder. You can't just expect people to join a brand community and start buying immediately. You have to move them up systematically. Rung 1 is community interest, getting them to recognize you and feel comfortable showing up. Rung 2 is community excitement, turning passive observers into active participants through entertaining challenges. And Rung 3 is community interaction, where deep trust is forged through genuine dialogue and responsiveness.
But to maintain that third rung, you must apply the conversation framework and enforce a strict no engagement bait rule. Let's contrast this clearly. Comment clarity, if you agree, is cheap, transaction-style bait that erodes trust. What part of your day consistently breaks your attention? Is a genuine, open-loop invitation to dialogue. One extracts a metric, the other builds a relationship.
One extracts a metric, the other builds a relationship. That is the perfect bridge to Module 8, Native Social Commerce. Because trust that doesn't convert is just a nice compliment, not a business model. We are seeing a massive compression of the traditional marketing funnel. The old path of scroll to search to website to buy has been completely compressed into a single platform-native, closed-loop experience. Scroll, discover, buy in-app.
The trust-to-transaction gap has officially collapsed, and the platform checkout infrastructures tell the story of this compression. If you look at the data, TikTok Shop is leading the charge with an impressive 4.7% conversion rate driven by its seamless, single-tap checkout. Instagram Shopping sits at 2.1% conversion, and Facebook Shops is at 1.8%. Brands that force users to click a link in the bio and redirect to an external browser are experiencing massive mobile cart abandonment rates, up to 77.8%.
77.8%. That is a massive leak in the bucket. But Madison, let's talk about the immersive commerce landscape. Remember back in 2021 when everyone was screaming that we were all going to shop in 3D virtual malls in the metaverse? Meta spent $46 billion on Reality Labs trying to make that happen, and it completely collapsed.
A massive metaverse mirage. It was a total mismatch with consumer behavior. People didn't want to strap heavy, isolating headsets on just to buy a pair of sneakers. But what quietly took its place is much more practical and powerful. WebAR, zero friction, browser-based augmented reality. You don't need to download an app. You just scan a QR code on a coffee cup or tap a social link, and boom, a digital overlay appears directly in your physical living room or on your face.
And the commercial impact is mind-blowing. Retailers deploying WebAR report a 30% reduction in product return rates and a massive 60% increase in buyer confidence. It's what we call self-evidential value. When a consumer can see a 3D model of a desk in their actual office, checking for door clearance and color match, they don't need a creator's review or community proof anymore. The product literally proves its own value in real time.
It is the ultimate friction reducer. But Jake, look at the horizon. The next big paradigm shift isn't even about human buyers. It's agentic commerce, where autonomous AI agents shop on behalf of the consumer. With Google's Universal Commerce Protocol, or UCP, gaining massive backing from players like Shopify, Walmart, and Target, the game is changing. Nows won't just be persuading human minds, they must make their trust signals machine-readable. Your structured product data, pricing transparency, delivery windows, and return policies must be perfectly legible to AI agents.
Legible to machines. That is wild. It means the fifth tier of measurement in social commerce is no longer just tracking clicks. It is intent-based attribution. AI systems will map the entire upstream process of how intent is formed, tracking zero-click browsing signals and predicting purchase probability before a human even makes a conscious decision to buy.
It is a brave new commercial world. The brands that win won't be those chasing the loudest hype, but those who build a seamless architecture of trust, from the first pattern-breaking scroll to the machine-legible checkout.
That is all the time we have for today's episode. If you're building a brand, ask yourself, is your strategy ready for the loop? I'm Jake, here with Madison, and we will see you in the next feed.
Keep your loops closed and your metrics honest. Bye, everyone.